Hello and welcome to the big story. You're watching CVR English and I'm Sandeep. In this special bulletin, we track a landmark moment in global geopolitics as India and European Union usher in a new phase of partnership, spanning trade, diplomacy, shared values and strategic cooperation. And this is the big story of the day. The big story of the day begins at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen signaled a bold shift in a global trade strategy, unveiling a fresh EU agreement and teasing what she called the mother of all deals, a historic trade pact with India. At the Global Economic Forum, von der Leyen described this potential India-EU free trade agreement as one of that could reshape international commerce by creating a market of nearly 2 billion people, anchored on reducing tariffs and expanding access across the goods and services. The European Commission chief underscored that this mega deal could redefine global trade norms and pivot the world economy away from the protectionist barriers as nations vie for resilient supply chains and strategic partnership. The buzz around this pact, dubbed as the mother of all deals, is hyperbole. It reflects the culmination of nearly 2 decades of negotiation between India and the EU, now reaching its grandest moment. Analysts say that if fully implemented, the agreement could fundamentally rebalance global trade, deepen market integration, and foster a strategic alliance between the two of the world's most dynamic democratic economies. Today, that vision is finally realized.
Agreements with Mexico, Indonesia, and Switzerland, our host country. We're working on a new free trade agreement with Australia. We are also advancing with the Philippines, Thailand, Malaysia, the United Arab Emirates, and more. And right after Davos, the next weekend, I will travel to India. There's still work to do, but we are on the cusp of a historic trade agreement. Indeed, some call it the mother of all deals. One that would create a market of 2 billion people, accounting for almost a quarter of global GDP. And crucially, that would provide a first-mover advantage for Europe with one of the world's fastest growing and most dynamic continents. Europe wants to do business with the growth centers of today and the economic powerhouses of this century, from Latin America to the Indo-Pacific and far beyond. Europe will always choose the world, and the world is ready to choose Europe. And ladies and gentlemen, this reality also reflects the fact that Europe has all the assets it needs to attract investment. The savings, the skills, the innovation with our AI factories and gigafactories and the applications that are necessary, AI first. What we need now is to mobilize collectively these assets to their full potential and to focus on the essential. So focal point number one is to create a conducive and predictable regulatory environment. We live in an age where capital and data can cross Europe in a second, and business must be able to move just as freely. But as things stand, too many companies have to look abroad to grow and scale up, partly because they face the new agreements.
And finally, the day has come when all the European Union leaders have landed in Delhi as a special guest on the occasion of 77th Republic Day. Viewers, every day, every year in the Republic Day, we usually see the guests. Then those guests will be the head of the nations. In rarest of the rarest occasions, you will be finding other guests who are probably not the head of the nations, like Aung San Suu Kyi, or the group of the people, like once upon a time the ASEAN leaders have come to the Republic Day as the guests. But probably this is the first ever time when not the head of the state but the head of the union are invited as the state guests. And this is a diplomatic move by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The main thing why Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done this is because to check the Trump tariffs. As we all know, Trump is keeping on imposing tariffs, first at 25% and now raising almost 100%. And he warned that if India does not stop trade with Russia, he will impose more than 10%. And on this particular occasion, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, initially he has joined the hands with China, later on with other unions, and finally now with the European Union. Trump, on the other side, has distanced himself from the G20 and also warned the BRICS Union. And on this particular occasion, the European Union leaders have shown great enthusiasm in partnering with India. And they have arrived in India as a guest and to have a better trade. In New Delhi, European Union leaders Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Luis Santos da Costa were welcomed as distinguished guests to India's 77th Republic Day celebrations, joining President Draupadi Murmu, Modi and other dignitaries in a display of the ceremony and solidarity. Their presence underscored both the diplomatic warmth between New Delhi and Brussels and deepening strategic bond between the two sides. The grand parade, featuring military contingents and cultural tableau, was not just a celebration of India, but also a symbolic homage to shared democratic values and rising global stature.
Leading this elite body of mounted warriors astride his charger, Meghdut. Commission, Madam Ursula von der Leyen, arriving here at the saluting base. It's always a proud moment for each and every one of us when we welcome our foreign friends, our either people.
माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी और आज के समारोह के दोनों मुख्य अतिथियों के साथ अभिवादन स्वीकार करते हुए उनका परिचय कराया जा रहा है.
Ready for the national anthem. The moment the dignitaries have taken their places. Leading this elite body of mounted warriors.
The entire day went on with the celebrations of Republic Day, and we have seen Ursula von der having a desi touch to her costume, giving a clear signal to the entire world that yes, she kept the word that there is going to be mother of all days, which reflect the lives of 2 billion people in the world. And on the conclusion of the Republic Day celebrations and the following day, before official talks presides, Costa and von der Leyen made a solemn trip to Rajghat in Delhi to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi. The European dignitaries laid wreaths and offered floral tributes at the memorial, highlighting Gandhi's enduring legacy of non-violence, truth and human dignity. This moment of reflection underscored the moral and cultural foundation upon which India-EU relations are increasingly being built, linking democratic solidarity with international cooperation. Their gesture as Rajghat sent a powerful message that shared values from the bedrock of deeper partnership, even as global challenges demand unity on economic, strategic and security fronts. At Hyderabad House, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hosted European Council President Antonio Costa and Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in a high-level summit that would go down in history. The discussions ranged widely over trade, technology, climate, action, critical technologies and geopolitical developments, all central to the new India-EU strategic collaboration. The meeting marked bilateral ties for the first time in nearly 20 years of the efforts. India and EU announced the successful conclusion of negotiations on a free trade agreement, effectively unlocking one of the largest trade agreements the world has seen. While formal legal ratification process lie ahead, leaders from both the sides hailed the pact as transformative for global commerce and cooperation. Later, in a joint statement, Prime Minister Modi and EU leaders launched a 5-year strategic agenda, a roadmap to elevate cooperation and prosperity, innovation, defense, and people-to-people ties. Modi described the India-EU collaboration as a partnership for global good, one that spans from the Indo-Pacific to the Caribbean, highlighting the establishment of the IMEC corridor, a key trade and connectivity initiative. He stressed that this corridor will further drive sustainable development and economic growth.